I'll be able to tell in just a quick moment. My screen catches up, but otherwise... Hello, welcome to the glorious madness that is me and my friends. So, it's been a little bit. We've had people come and go, and we're all finally back for our first full game with all this madness.
Yay, I missed nothing.
Yes. And just as a start for anybody who might at some point watch this, I don't know why, but we are going to be flipping we're oh god, my words, they do nothing. We're doing an alternating schedule for this. So the conspiracy group will be meeting every other week to help ease the tensions in my frazzled brain. And hopefully, come up with some better content for everyone anyway. Viewer and player alike. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, last we left ourselves off, the newest batch of Raven's Crest recruits got themselves settled in a little bit, and even took on, after some deliberation, their first assignment for the budding, well, not the budding, but the armed forces of Aether, which is essentially what they've ended up becoming. You've decided to move on to the city of Atropos via one of the Crest's gateway, part of their gateway network. And you step out into what was it, about, I want to say it's early evening at this point. It's stepping out of the chapter house, essentially. You note the distinct, for lack of a better word, think olden days London style architecture. Minus the plague running around. But very, very kind of Gothic architecture. And just people milling about. The atmosphere is not dour, somewhat serious, but it's not a high excitement place. But there are tall Gothic buildings, many courtyards, edged in wrought iron fencing. It has its own eerie beauty, where you can see off into the distance. Where's that? It's not the place that I wanted to. I wanted to move you all here.
It's pretty.
It is highly unfinished, but you are in what looks to be a large central courtyard.
Whatever happened to the Millennium Falcon one?
What are you on about?
The city that...
We left that city, man, a while ago. I know.
Still, Millennium Falcon City was amazing.
It's not gonna look that way. That was a temporary map, thank you.
I'll give you a hug later.
Alright.
But no, that was the city of Celestine, by the way.
I guess, did we get told or shown who to contact or where to go?
You were given a small packet, small envelope. Well, rather, your leader was given that. And I believe... No, Elia was with Torn at the time. So they know that they received a small folder of pertinent information regarding the mission. And they got that from Rutalin.
So, we're supposed to meet an Adrian at a tavern named Hades.
Well, alright. Where that?
I'm gonna kind of look around a little bit.
Well, there definitely are people milling about. Well, carry on.
Leader Whisperberry wants to know if anyone's been here before. Does anybody know who we can ask?
I don't think I've traveled in this particular direction, no.
Well, we do happen to have a local. If you would like to give me we'll say a history check, Dominic.
I would when I can find it.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's actually it's a little off of the central courtyard, which you seem to be in. Over in this Anna direction, one of the few places that actually has anything equivalent to like a park outside of the main temple grounds.
Torrent's going to hold up his notebook. Oh, yes, there we go.
Dominic, Leader Whiskerberry says you can lead the way.
Yay me. It's this way.
Alfir is staying close to your side at this point, Sylvie.
Good.
So, moving through the crowds, you see a couple of this central square generally has. You see a couple of street peddlers here and there. It looks to be kind of a commerce center, but nothing too exciting immediately as you're passing through. But you do get to this. You do get to this courtyard that has high wrought iron gates, which are currently standing open, and a small clustering of trees basically punctuate the middle of this open area, which has several different buildings in close succession. It looks like there's a collection of inns and taverns here, and one is marked the Hades Hellfire Club.
Sounds cozy.
It's jamming in there.
Rammstein's playing the whole
It's-
thing. No.
It's really quiet, peaceful. There's like little doilies on all the tables.
Very fancy.
Very, very pastel colors.
Just elegant. Elegant would be a good word.
It's very elegant.
Carl doesn't like this place. It's too elegant.
I mean, you do see a few horses and carriages kind of go running by, and you notice a little bit from under the wheels there. But yeah, a lot of these streets seem to have high fencing that, I don't know, it does kind of punctuate your stature, because most of these walls, while like kind of going up to most people's like midsections, their hips or waists, they're, you're having a hard time seeing past the open, out of the open spaces.
Luther will extend his little bit of a rope from his belt that Carl can hold on to, and it's like a reverse mother-child leash thing.
It's hilarious.
That is
Carl will grab this rope.
that is beautiful.
Looking at the facade, well, Dominic, is this place?
Hey, this is the one.
Well,
So-
after you, hometown boy.
Upon entering, yeah, this actually is. I mean, there's not doilies or anything, but this is not just an up and tumble establishment. It is fairly refined. You hear upon entering, you hear this kind of darkly classical music being played.
Do we?
For those that can hear.
Lol.
But you note that with the exception of perhaps Dominic himself, most of you stand out as this is not what an adventurer's bar would be. It definitely has this cultured lounge kind of atmosphere to it. And it also it shows in the decorations as well as the clientele. And, kind of stepping in and taking stock of your surroundings, you are in short order approached by this tall, slim individual with curling black hair, piercing crimson eyes, and kind of like this and just basically this formal attire, like a poet's shirt with a black jacket over top of it. And he's, "May I help you?"
Torrin holds out his notebook for Alitheria.
Well, we're looking for an Adrian.
I'm sorry, who?
An Adrian?
Adrian. Oh, yes, I do believe he is in the back. Might I inquire what the business is here?
We're from Ravencrest.
Oh. I see. My apologies. They changed their... They used to have pins on the front of your shirts to distinguish you, not these bands. Yes, I will have one of our servers place you in a private room for you.
Torin will give a double thumbs up.
This individual gives you kind of a bit of a forced smile, forced polite smile, and it's not hard to notice the exaggerated canines on this individual. As he will take you to a private room kind of off to the side and seat your group along a long table.
Question: as we were walking in and seeing the canines, the chompers on this fella, is there any sign of
If you were saying anything, you cut out.
walking in here, seeing the chompers on this guy, kind of getting a feel for the area, or a feel for what's going on here. Were there any instances of like thieves' camp or down low symbols of Fel's worship?
Give me perception.
One sec.
Since we're looking for thieves' camp, should I do that too?
Are you looking around?
I mean, I'm always looking around.
You can go ahead. All right. None of you seem to catch anything out of the, nothing pings on thiefy radar. However, with your history check earlier, this individual is at least is a known entity to you, Dominic. This is a man by the name of Requiem Feldstone. He runs this establishment. And he is also, as many may have noticed, he is also vampiric in nature.
He's what?
He's vampiric in nature.
As long as we're not vampiric and snack, we won't have a problem.
No, there's been no problems associated with this man.
Well, clearly no one's as delicious as Torin has come by, so...
I mean, Carl's snack size.
He is fun size.
So all the women are gonna use me as a fucking teddy bear. Great.
That's not what they said.
Yeah.
No.
I understand what they said. I'm trying to make it less fucked up on my.
You're like a Capri Sun, dude.
Oh, God.
Damn. I'm like the little juicy juice box.
Yeah, pretty much. Just stick a straw in you. Just
stab, and next thing you know, you slowly squeeze.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Actually, we'll say Torin and Elia, give me insight real quick. Yeah, you do notice as he was addressing you, Requiem was kind of eyeing the two of you specifically, which seemed to be a little... It kind of had this feeling that it was a little more than just the fact is that collectively the two of you were the ones being addressed. Which is also alarming for you because despite he's extraordinarily pale, but he does otherwise look like a tall, lithe human. So there's another thing.
you're saying is nobody here actually knows what he is?
Oh, they know.
No.
A couple of people recognize his undead nature. But
He's just looking at the two cats like a snack.
Awesome. At least Carl's not on the menu or that, or he didn't know.
you, with your insight, you do kind of notice there's something off there with him, and it's like a little bit of a little bit of a tell, kind of like almost in the way his eyes kind of lingered, and just that slight sparkle within them, and yeah, it's slightly uncomfortable. But you are seated in a private room, and Requiem will excuse himself.
Torrent glares and cat's boy.
He's got cat scratch fever.
I told you this glove is bouncing.
Sounds like a seismic thing.
Maybe, we don't know.
I would.
You do have a waitress come by to take an order for drinks. Mid-sized, raven-haired, like slightly red-skinned tiefling girl. So if anybody is ordering a drink,
I'll take a drink.
She sounds like my kind of drink.
oh well, I mean the uniform is relatively formal, so dressed up, not quite as you are, but still fairly dressed up. And of course I don't have my drink list on hand because why would I be prepared for that?
Why wouldn't we be?
Oh, that's right, because it's in my library notes for whatever reason. So, what are people's drinks?
Not really sure what's available.
There's quite a bit.
Big ol' thing of mead.
I'll take the house special.
I'll have just whatever.
I'm having water.
Oh, we'll stick with water as well.
It seems to be a lot of what people are keeping with.
Maybe.
There's common wines which run a copper a glass.
What about uncommon wine?
They offer a fortified wine, which is 2 silver. They also offer a frost wine that is 10 gold per glass.
Dominic's going to lean over the table and whisper a little loudly, "Don't order the Bloody Mary."
Right, maybe I should ask what the house special is before I order it. What is the house special?
The house special is... well, it's called Dionysus. And it is 75 gold for a glass.
I mean, that's not very special, is it?
It's a very special wine, sir.
Interesting. What do you have special-wise as far as liqueurs, spirits, mixed, whatever? I'm not a wine drinker, you say.
Well, we do have an excellent bartender on tap. I'm sure he can mix up whatever you'd like.
Right. Right. All right, gin with a twist of orange and a twist of lemon, and we'll be good.
That would be 3 silver.
I will give them 4.
Okay. So
Tori.
you... What?
Holding up the notebook for the waitress.
You can get a big cup of that for a copper.
The biggest.
I'll
So
just take some brandy
a brandy,
or equivalent.
3 silver.
Alright.
I've taken the time of getting all this stuff written down over the years because I have no life. All right. So, drinks ordered. Solvi, were you getting wine?
Yes.
All right. So, that being done, a couple minutes later, your drinks are brought back to you. And about 5 minutes past that, you will hear a knock on the door before an individual comes walking in. The man appears human, for those who are concerned with such things. A tall individual whose pale features are... well, he's elegantly dressed like a noble who perhaps has done some share of soldiering before, as he wears a dulled bit of half-plate armor over top of formal black clothes. He's got a red-lined cloak with that's black on the exterior of it, and wearing a white cravat with a ruby gem in place. He also looks kind of albino-ish. This one's vampiric heritage is a lot more apparent than most others you would see, with his stark white hair, or silver hair, and red, faintly glowing eyes. As he closes the door and just takes an empty seat at the head of the table. Just, thank you very much for coming to see to my request. Which one of you leads your band?
That one there.
We all point at the guy riding on the tab.
This is Leader Whiskerberry. His name's Torin.
Torin. A pleasure. And a pleasure to all the rest of you. Now, you have managed to... I imagine you've read over the information that we've given you, correct?
Mr. Whiskerberry did, but he'd like to go over the task, please.
Yes. Well, the assignment that I would have you complete, is to go into an old family estate of mine. And to my knowledge, it has been taken up over the years by a number of unsavory creatures from within the valley. I would like them dealt with. I would do it myself, but I have obligations elsewhere and cannot see to it myself.
Torin is asking this next question to anybody else in the room.
So do we have any questions?
Well, about how many creatures, what kinds of creatures, and you happen to know anything about your home that would be useful to us?
I have provided a discreet means of entry to the estate. It will take you through the basement levels and into the courtyard via a hidden tunnel that exits at the court fountain. As for what is there, it could be any number of things. This valley has seemingly no end to the amount of darkness that it contains. And with the recent events, I'm not sure what exactly has shown itself.
So are you saying you've not checked it out yet, or are we definitely expecting creatures? This is a wellness check? What are you saying?
I greatly anticipate that creatures have taken residence. I could not tell you what darkness lurks within. Just that the last time I checked was several years ago, and these things do tend to creep up on my home, unfortunately, and by my accounting, the time is drawing close, and these things tend to congregate. I am awake, I suppose, early enough to attempt to counterbalance this before it can spread from the castle.
Right, so you're saying this is less of a home and more of a castle.
Well,
And you have to do this every so many years, always different, always strange monsters. Why?
yes, unfortunately, the darkness of this castle, it seems to be a magnet for creatures. With as early as I am aware enough to the event, we might be able to head it off at the pass. Clear it so that a guard station, perhaps, can be made of it to cull them as they approach, rather than have to hold them back once they've gathered and expanded.
I mean, you keep saying they, and it sounds like it's different creatures every time, but they act the same? What's happening with that? And bear in mind, this is not to make things difficult. I just want to make sure that I have all the information that I need, me and my friends here safe.
Yes, of course. The creatures, they do differ, but they are drawn to the call of the lord of the castle. My father is well, he is not of a savory nature, and his enduring legacy brings terror to the people of this valley.
So you're saying it's your dad's castle. He has some form of legacy that keeps making monsters in here.
Or drawing the monsters of the valley to him, in which he uses as his army.
Well, so he's awake, or you're saying he's going to wake up, and that's his place. And we're not necessarily cleaning out somebody's home, we're stopping some kind of undead uprising.
A little of the same. For what little I was able to scout, the lord of the castle has not made an appearance. There's usually a gathering before that happens. I would like to head it off at the pass, as it were. And your group, I want to be the vanguard of that, and I am offering... Well, you have seen how much I have offered for it.
Right. Fair day's pay and all, but Mr. Whiskerberry, Captain Sergeant Whiskerberry, I think we should note this in the report, because this is definitely not what we were told all the way.
You said it was your pa. Are we gonna have to deal with him at all?
I don't believe so. Were he present, I would feel that I would know. I've had to do this enough times that I have not felt his presence yet. That's why I feel it is safe enough to send individuals such as yourselves as my proxy.
If you've had to do this enough times, how come you haven't set something up to keep it from happening before now?
The endeavor taxes me. And, well, to be quite honest, the battles that I've had to wage against him send me to torpor as very shortly thereafter. I've only been able to recover soon enough to see his forces spread out. Enough time passes that the mortal mind simply takes for granted the peace.
Mr. Adrian?
Yes?
So, Leader Whiskerberry wants to know if there'll be any bystanders.
No, I would imagine not.
And there's going to be a lot of these monsters?
I'm sure there will be quite a few, but we are in fact in the early stages of this gathering. I don't anticipate there to be enough that an army would need to be raised, but you are of the Raven's Crest and come highly, well, their reputation is noteworthy enough that I would be able to trust you with such a matter.
And you can.
Leader Whiskerberry says to leave it to us and that it'll be done soon enough.
I appreciate this. I do not ask of this lightly, and wish that my obligations did not prevent me from taking to this task myself. But I suppose it's all for the best. I don't know if my activities around the castle would hasten my father's return.
Torin slams empty glass of milk down onto the table. Stand up. You know,
One last question.
sits back down.
Yes.
Everything in the castle, is it yours? Is it your father's? Do we need to worry about breaking anything or not breaking anything during the fight?
The castle has withstood many years of battle.
Well, not so much the castle. Like, do you have like a favorite chair? Does it matter if we break the furniture fighting?
I would be surprised if you found much that hasn't been destroyed in one way or another.
Okay. So no strong attachment to anything inside.
No, not
Nothing
in the
to
least.
pocket.
There may be some small bits of wealth or usable anything there. If you find anything, you can make use of anything you see. I have no attachment to anything within that castle.
I go
Well-
back to drinking my drink.
No attachment seems like a bit of another fib there, but that's fine.
No sentimental
saying, boss?
attachment, then, we'll say.
Fair enough, fair enough. Anyways, boss, I think you were making the leave, right?
Yeah. Stands up.
Leader Whiskerberry wants to know if we have any more questions.
Well, as unsatisfied as I might be, I guess I'm as satisfied as I can be.
Do we have any other supplies to take from you? Anything that you are contributing to our cause? I do not have much, but okay. Out of hand. Did anyone write down what the contract was for?
Magic weapon, 1,000 gold, something like that.
Okay.
No, I think that's correct.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was like a month ago, right? I think.
I'm pretty sure it was about
It was like 2
gold
weeks.
magic weapon.
That sounds about right.
Question
Nah.
is, magic weapon for one person or everything?
It said a magic weapon
Damn.
on the docket.
Are you're reasonably sure that we're not gonna be your instruments of patricide?
I would be lying if I said that I would that I wouldn't hope that you would be the ones to fell him, but he always seems to return. If you could put him down, that would be beyond my wildest dreams, but I have no hope for it. As to your question, while I do not have anything on hand to help provide you, I will be willing to part with half of the coin so that you may get yourselves as supplied as you think you will need to be for this journey.
Torin will approach and politely hold out his hand.
So with that, he will put into your palm.
Oh,
Yeah, he will hand over 50 platinum coins. I wish you good fortune in your endeavor, and I will be awaiting your return.
Leader Whiskerberry needs to know who wants to stock up.
Wouldn't mind looking around.
I mean, like I said, if we're fighting undead, we better make sure we have tools. Do we have the tools to handle undead?
Could be undead, could be random vagrants. We don't know what we're going up against. I say we prepare for any and all.
That would be a wise thing to do. I am fairly confident that you will find both in your path. Beasts, the undead, wicked men.
So, y'all think we need some garlic, maybe some wooden stakes, and lots of fire?
Well, it also sounds like we might need like some kind of pleasant-smelling potpourri for the homeless to like throw at them.
I don't. Right.
In response to Torin, I will take that. Thank you very much.
thank you for being a volunteer. You have been noted.
She can use me as a little stuffed animal.
I'm pretty sure that you're the virgin we're sacrificing.
I was volunteering, man.
Carl will hide behind Luther.
It does seem like something that they were implying.
I can't
And where
protect
about-
you if you volunteer. You know that. You're not supposed to volunteer for anything, ever.
And where about is this
It's been provided to you on your map.
I mean, I'm asking the DM.
The direction to the castle?
Yeah.
It essentially is over yonderish ways.
I wasn't zoomed out enough, I guess. Where?
Yeah, it's kind of off to the. It's not on the map, but it's kind of northwestish,
Oh,
kind of
it's
up
like
into the mountains.
that-ish way.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's up that a ways.
Like a day's journey away, or
I'm imagining we are going to have Torin kind of go in with kind of showing off and around with the map. So, according to this, and the map looks like it might have been recently made and seems to be updated for the new topography. It looks like it's probably a day's hike away,
okay.
roughly.
And it's what, like midday now?
It's It's like early evening.
Ah, okay.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to see if we can't get our hands on a bit of holy water or holy oil.
Yeah, if we could look around for some of that, maybe a potion or two. If anyone is needing them.
Now that you're getting into more technical talk, Adrian will just kind of excuse himself and leave the room for you to do your planning.
As he's leaving, Oi, where do you think we could find some holy oil?
Well, I'm sure there are enough vendors in this central square that could have some. Barring that, the main temple would likely have something for dealing with their more unruly citizenry. Forgive me, I'm not entirely familiar with this town just yet and everything that it is.
Good enough. On with you then.
He'll give you a nod and walk out.
Leader Whiskaberry says we can meet back here within the hour and he'll hand out some platinum.
Works for me.
Just Alfir will kind of turn his... So, we are looking for fire and sanctified water.
I mean, I'll go visit a temple if somebody wants to go visit an alchemist.
I would like to go with to look for a temple.
Same. Raise his hand. Oh.
It might be easier to find than alchemist. I'm sure Dominic, you know where one of those might be in this town. Temple stands out, right?
Dominic, there's not even a need for a roll. When they say temple, that is the one right up here to the big open ground that I haven't put it in yet. That would be the main, not only the main temple, but essentially the castle where the king lives.
Hooray.
But it is an open area. People can come in and out of the castle grounds.
So yeah, if you're looking for the temple, you're gonna go to the northwestern corner of the city.
Good news, good news. Should we split that platinum now so we all have, you know, room for supplies and whatnot?
Torin will hand about 5 platinum-ish to everybody.
I think it's 5 with a couple left over.
If anyone needs extra, come find Torin.
How much was that again?
5 platinum is going to be about 50 gold worth.
I will intercept the platinum going towards Dominic and hold it for him because I know him. And I know he knows where all of the gambling establishments are.
Crap.
And where all the hookers and blow come
How
from.
am I supposed to make more money if you take away the money to begin with?
I'll give him one of his 5 and I'll hold on to the other 4 in like a separate little.
That's plenty of seed money. I mean, and you got more in the bank. That's awesome.
I'll go with him to find whatever he's.
He's like a moving ATM.
It's the best
ATM
dwarf
with
ever.
beard.
Yeah, but he talks.
Kess will go and head to the alchemist and also to a blacksmith and also to a butcher.
Busy boy. You only have an hour, my man.
Yeah, you might want to. We have. So what we've got is a temple group, an alchemist group, and Kess, are you breaking off from them, or you're probably going to be able to hit maybe one of those because you're going to have to do either some asking around or footwork in an unfamiliar area.
I'll head up with the alchemy group, and if I see a blacksmith along the way or a butcher along the way, I'll break off.
Okay.
Gotta get meats for cooking.
So, sounds like Dominic and I are going to the alchemist.
Yep, so we have dwarves and the tiefling, and then most everybody else. Unless, Carl, did you say where you were going?
I'm still gonna stick with Luther.
He's on a leash. He can't escape.
That is... I love the fact that you have the toddler leash on him.
Now look both ways before you cross the cartway.
You mean legitimately right now?
No, I don't imagine.
That's
Okay.
probably in character.
Was that in character?
Yeah.
That was in character.
Dude, we are, you're attached to a leash in the game. You're alright.
Is Carl close enough to kick him in the shin?
You're all sat around a table right now, so the only kicking your feet are doing currently are off the seat.
Well, probably not.
We're kind of waving in the air because you can't reach anything,
Little
not even
bit.
the ground.
Were you
Look-
asking if that was me in character? Because that was not.
Okay, I was about to say, because that was in
My dwarf
character, I was gonna
is
get
not-
off the chair and go kick you in the shin.
Jesper's not that wordy.
He's got an
Before
internal
you
voice.
got your leash, I was planning on picking you up and having you ride on my shoulders.
Hilarious.
Oh, so we have two mounted characters.
Okay, so a quick question: how like high is the table in comparison to Carl? Because my feet are obviously nowhere near the ground, which means how high is my head above the table?
Is it just like his nose above?
It's
Yeah,
it's
or is
it's
it
it's
just
a
under you?
it's a farce. Okay, that's how that goes. We're joshing you for the most part. So, all right, we will start with Team Alchemy, and Kess, we'll have you give a perception check as you're moving. You find a butcher on the way.
Oh, giggity.
Butcher? We can all go in. No,
I'll
it's
go.
just-
I'll go ahead and find out about a big chunk of meat.
Okay. What sort of meat are you looking for?
I'll look for some dried meat and then some meat for cooking at night.
Yes, from what sort of beast?
Let's say some lamb.
Okay.
Beastly.
Mm-hmm. So, how much are you looking to purchase?
Enough to feed us for at least the dried meat for at least a night or a day or two. Dried meat, and then some fresh meat for tonight.
All right. We'll say for. And this is all lamb you're looking for?
Lamb for the fresh meat. Dried meat, don't care.
All right.
Just
Well,
good quality.
what?
Don't say don't care in this city.
Oh yeah.
They're not cannibals here, that you know of.
I would say then for the dried meat, I would say beef.
Beef. All right.
Do I have to roll another history check on that?
You do know that there are some Feyri that live amongst the population here, and they are strict carnivores. Some of them don't exactly care if the meat could talk ahead of time, but there's no specific catering to the tastes of cannibals.
Okay.
You're not going to find, a dude just hanging on a rack that they're going to carve things off of.
Damn.
At least not up on the surface. We gotta go to the black market below for that.
They're very. You know what? Give me another history check on this real quick.
They,
You don't know where, but you have heard rumors that there might be a black, like a kind of underground market that trades in mostly the meat of the condemned, just to kind of keep themselves on the down low.
I'll store that in the back of my mind in case I really get the urge to grab some, so that maybe we can tempt some of the monsters to go after.
Morbid,
Here,
but
puppy, toss it off to the side.
morbid, but not without merit. But
It's better than offering Carl.
I don't know. I mean, that could be used as a ploy.
No, we need him.
Yeah, but if you throw him in the middle, they turn on him, and then he just typhoon kicks them. We don't know what will happen.
they all lose their shins.
They all lose their shins. Their movement is halved. It's fine. And he's on a tether, so you can just yank him back.
Carl needs a spinning ability where he can just spin around and kick shit all at once.
I'm sorry. You chose the path of the Kensai, not the path of the Street Fighter.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's
Carl.
less like you're
Carl,
a child
extra
on a
attack.
leash right now, and more like I'm Michael Vick, and I'm about to let you off the hook.
Now I can't get the image of Carl on all fours growling and foaming at the mouth.
But by the way, I agree with you, Cass. That is definitely me with the little red get up on. Just that's me after a.
Wow. So, yes, for a fresh meal for all of you, let's see, we're going to say that is probably a good 5 gold for the fresh meat and 10 for enough dried meat to span what's the estimate of this. And this is good quality meat.
Okay.
The kind that you would feel proud being able to cook with.
Perfect.
Because you being the connoisseur, you know the good cuts.
The kind his god would approve of.
Quiet you. We do not speak its name.
I didn't.
We do not speak of it. The forbidden one.
What other kinds of dried meat are available?
There seems to be beef in smaller quantities. I mean, but most of what is provided here is venison. And that's in larger. They've got it in roasts, steaks. They've got it dried, and even sausages of it.
Ooh. I'd buy some of the dried venison just for myself.
All right. A pound of it right now is going for 2 gold. It is in abundant stock right now.
I'll take it.
As the little bit of back and forth going between Kess and the butcher, it's kind of a good time for him right now, since they kind of got all their lights back on, so to speak, and where they ended up relocating, for better or for worse, these woods are teeming with creatures that have got some meat on them. He, so much so because Kess, you are gourmand nature now, which is so weird to know is a thing with you, but he's willing to give you a decent price on any fresh kill you bring back.
All right, I'll take it.
I mean, he's not terrible.
Like the kind of guy to ask what's out there.
Indeed. With that, you know, a little bit of inquiring. There's a lot of there's some large stags that they've been able to bring in. Atropos it used to be located in a very large wasteland. But now it's sitting on top of essentially this large mountain range packed with forest. And to those who are used to scrounging for things to bring back, this is kind of heaven for them. And they're enjoying kind of a how can we put it, a cuisine revolution. There's more and more supplies for them to make their stuff and improve upon it. So they've seen a lot of just larger than average standard wildlife, stags. They've seen a couple of bears. They know about bears. This guy hasn't gotten his hands on much of it, but he's kind of interested in bear. There's some very large wolves, he'd say, and he's heard rumors of just all kinds of esoteric kind of creatures that he's a little curious as to what could and couldn't work to cook with.
I'll ask him if he's looking for anything to, in particular, to be brought back to him.
Well, to be honest, anything you bring back to me that is going to be good. The venison's selling really well around here. It's hard to keep stock on it as much as I can get it for cheap. Having some outside help bringing it in is always appreciated. If you can get something kind of rare, I'll put some coin in your hand for it.
Deal. Much appreciated.
Well, happy hunting. I'm hoping you bring me back something good.
I'll look over at the other two and ask them if they're looking at anything in particular.
I'm good.
Alright. We can go ahead and continue on to the alchemy.
Alright. Dominic, you can easily... You know of a couple of alchemists and get to one that's fairly well stocked. What is it that you're looking for?
Good question.
Liquid fire.
Potions of all sorts.
What's on the menu?
Well, you have this gnomish individual who's kind of standing at about, from where he's standing is roughly about like chest high from his counter and whatnot. You also see kind of a little bit further on the back a series of raised platforms that keeps him at a respectable level towards all of you. He's got quite a few things. What is striking your fancy for the day?
Someone seems real interested in this liquid fire.
Oh, well, we do have our alchemist's fire. I've got several vials of that. It burns pretty well. That's going for about 50 gold for a vial of it. A flask, rather.
Anything healing or to help with
To help with what now?
sorry, I broke. If we were to be infected with various ailments.
Well, I do have a couple of spare healing kits for in case something happens here. And I've got about 3 or 4 of the wound care tonics that got about 3 of those. About 5 of the alchemist fire. Got 2 spare aid kits. I've also got some of these. He holds up this slightly undulating, thin leather sack that's securely tied around the top. It's like, this can trip things up pretty well if you throw it at them.
So that's a Tanglefoot bag.
Yes, it is.
How much for that?
Let's see. The Tanglefoot bag. Which, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be on this list. And I don't know why.
Words of half of every customer I've ever had. It must be free.
No.
Nope, it's double now.
Physical pain.
If only I could do that at work.
Oh my
I
god.
agree.
Cries in customer service.
What's work?
It's that thing other people do sometimes.
Okay.
So here's what we do. When in doubt, drop additions. Let's see here.
Drop edition means it's cheaper.
Or more
Subtractions.
expensive.
Isn't it subtractions?
Yeah, you would wish. Come on, superior items. Oh, there we go. So a Tanglefoot bag. Yeah, that is. We're gonna switch those around. That's going to be 30 gold for a Tanglefoot bag. Which is essentially a thrown web spell.
One-time use.
Oh yeah.
And then you said recovery kits?
He's describing describing healer's kits. He's got 2 of those.
place is starting to feel like if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it.
Right, General.
In general.
What he's doing is he's showing you the, how can I put, the superior goods that he has. He sees the look of some of you, Kess, for example. He sees that you're essentially adventurer types. I mean, Dominic is a little... He could just be your friend that has been showing you around. Could be some other guy. But definitely the dwarves look like they're ready to go out and do stuff. So he's showing you the stuff that would most immediately apply to people of your nature. He does have quite a few different little, like, dried herbs of various kinds. Basically, like, ligament ointments, a couple of cold remedies, like real base level Walgreens type stuff. But yeah, he's showing you to the, like, hey, you look like you guys have money. Here's the expensive stuff.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll buy 2 jars of Alchemist Fire.
All right, 2 out of the 5 gone.
And you said there were 30 apiece?
No, those are 50 apiece, so that's 100 gold.
Okay.
There's no one around. There's no one around who knows Kess enough to possibly stop him from doing this.
Doing what? I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what you've done.
So the healer kit thing, what exactly is that piece?
Healer's kit has 10 uses, and as an action, you can expend one of them to stabilize a creature without needing to make a medicine check. And
so it's just a stabilize.
It is a stabilizer. There are people who have expert use of them and can do greater wonders, but it also has some things to not only stabilize, but essentially you can use. I'm going to say these ones have the ability to use it to give yourself an advantage to try and stem toxins. So yeah, essentially, if you're trying to treat someone who's come down with, some kind of ailment, you can use this kit to give yourself a bit of a roll boost. And the supplies needed to even make the check in the first place.
You stunt the spreading of lycanthropy.
Probably you would be able to to hold it back a little bit. Oh, geez, were creatures. That's a great idea. Thanks.
Dang it.
Just make sure you got silver weapons.
So the healer's kit, he is selling for. They don't seem to have that directly as a price on this list. Why is it not on? No, healer's
Because
kit.
we've already established that you don't come prepared.
I don't have all the prices of everything memorized. Thank you. It's 5 gold
What are you
apiece.
gonna do with your non-life?
Make maps and yeah, make maps and missions for you people. That's what I do with my non-existent life, and then play pseudo horror games for people on the internet.
Yes, 5 gold for a healer's kit.
Yes.
Oh, I'll take one.
Okay.
Did you already take one? I didn't hear what all
Kess bought 2 Alchemist Fire.
So is this is it? There's no like healing potion.
He has 3 basic healing potions for sale, he said.
How much?
Those are 50 gold apiece.
50 gold apiece.
I'm gonna take all of your 5 platinum.
I can heal.
Or all of Dominic's 4 platinum that you still have and 1 of yours.
I just,
Touch my money and I stab you.
it's cheaper to just heal myself.
This is not a lie.
Or look at Eluperia. How do you say your name?
Eliafira.
Oh, well, I just think it sounds like a disease.
Oh, I think I'm done here.
No other purchases from your group?
Nope, I'm good.
I'll buy
Oh.
the other healing kit.
Okay, another 5 gold. So you'll be left with 5 gold out of the platinum coin that you were given. If you didn't have money otherwise, and I can't remember if you did or not.
I had 80 gold, so I just dropped that down to 75.
Good job. All right, with that, everybody else is wandering up the main streets that kind of curve about to this large... I mean, the walls here are incredibly tall, about, you would say easily like 50 feet up, just the expanse of it, with a rather ornate looking gate crafted of this blackened iron. And it looks to have, at the pinnacle of it, this kind of this golden plate as a bit of a decoration. And set within parts of this seem to be very large rubies. The wrought iron gate currently stands open, leading into the courtyard. And as soon as you pass through that threshold, of which there are armed guards in full black plate armor, carrying what look to be tower shields and have large swords at their side. Passing into this, you see the largest expanse of green around here, and not just well-manicured lawns, but beds of exotic-looking flowers, a few trees, some of which seem to have are bearing fruit. And standing beyond this is a massive, what looks to be a jet obsidian pyramid, with the path leading straight up towards it.
I should know the denomination here, yeah?
Sophie wants to know that as well.
Give religion checks.
Should I roll that too?
I mean, go ahead.
Can
We are
Carl
so
also
all
help
about
Luther
this
make
religion.
these?
So what you're telling me is they don't advertise.
Can Carl also make a check? Being attached to Luther.
We're gonna say that with enough of you, it's essentially helping him.
Also,
Yeah, it's Luther's check. It well enough is essentially he's rolling with advantage on this. You would be more one to know this than the others. This is definitely the grounds of Amadeus Atropos, the king of Atropos. Odd, without any surprise there, but his royal countenance is also known to be the god of death.
Yes.
Not many
Well, I mean-
see him, and he works through a series of proxies, but he is known to reside within here, and more so, his domain lies beneath beneath the temple, really. And yes, he is in close connection with your person of interest.
Oh, my actual deity.
Yes.
It's not a secret.
I'm not going to assume what you want to put out there.
Yeah, don't be weird. Yeah, so related to Fells, or slightly tied to.
Yes, in fact, there was actually a not too shortly, or not too long before the lights had gone out. You heard that there was a grand celebration where Fells was actually joined in marriage to Amadeus. There's a huge celebration in the city, and after such days, the gates to the temple were essentially held open for where they were normally just like, there was essentially visiting hours to the area, but since that day, the gates have been thrown wide, and the once very private gardens were opened to public, just to the general public to enjoy.
Cool. Alright, feeling confident. I swagger in. Fully wearing the whole Anzu getup.
You are getting some looks when they note the amulet at your neck, but no one harasses you for it. And you walk up to this large pyramid that has this small extended, or the small like outcropping of an entryway, and again those almost at mirrored obsidian doors. As you walk up, the sentries there will just slowly open back the doors and allow you entry into the temple.
Well, I believe we've arrived.
Thumbs up.
This place has a very eerie feel to it.
I don't know, it's a bit cozy. Looking for an attendant. Hey, where might we find a gift shop, or I don't know. Do you people serve any kind of holy water or blessing needs?
No, I thought you were looking for a tote bag.
It better be real canvas.
I hope I find one with the snaps and not the Velcro. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. Get some quality in this bitch. There's a somewhat wraith-like individual in, full black woolen cloak. Just kind of comes drifting over. Just, what is it that you required again?
I believe we were looking for holy water, holy oils, anything to help us deal with the mindless scourges. As I'm saying that, Luther will show just the inside of his cloak where he is stashing his fell symbol.
You see the you knowing what you're doing and kind of looking for a reaction, you see the hood just kind of barely kind of shift, acknowledging that it's looking to what you're after or what you're showing. The that symbol of a black dagger with a key with basically key teeth along one side of the edge. Just there's a bit of a nod. Just, are you looking for sanctified water or applicable oils?
Me personally, I'd like some applicable oils, something to give me a bit more keenness against things that might be allergic to such. I know others of us might be looking for waters.
Waters would be fine with me.
And perhaps you may have potions for sale?
We do have several of each of these that you are looking for.
Well, how much do you think that oil's going to run you?
As for potions for injuries, we have... See, it reaches in its long belled sleeve and kind of pulls out a small stone that it kind of gazes into. Looks like we have 4 potions currently that we can part with for small donations of 40 gold coins apiece. The waters, we have blessed 10 currently. And the donation is 15 gold for each of those. We have also 2 vials of the ravages you are seeking.
Hey, quick question.
Yes.
Can they bless weapons to do more damage versus, like, undead?
You're not exactly in a position to be able to ask such things at the moment.
Well, I know. I was just wondering out of character.
Possibly.
Usually, mechanically, something like that's more of an enchantment or temporary magic, like just a few minutes.
Gotcha. Because I know, like, priests can, like, do haste and the actual bless.
Alternatively, you can get something like a holy oil, which you can apply to a weapon that for your next attack or however many attacks, it does a additional bit of damage. But it's pretty much like a spell.
Okay. I was just curious. Sorry.
Good stuff to know.
The ravages that the figure is offering you will be donations of 25 gold apiece. And those are enough to... Each one of those is enough to coat your weapon for... The remnants are designed to kind of adhere a bit, and the application of that would last for a minute, and would deal which would basically inflict additional radiant damage to a target.
Awesome.
Basically, applying one of these ravages would give you a D4 of radiant damage.
I think I'll grab that.
Yeah, if you grab one, I'll take the other.
Yeah.
You said there was 2.
There are 2 going for, what did I say?
But yeah, 25 apiece.
25 apiece, yes.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
It's fairly evident that just from you're pretty good on values, Luther. This is
I'm totally getting a deal.
yeah.
Sylvie will buy 3 holy water.
Okay.
I'll buy 4 holy water, putting him down to 3 left if anybody else wants one.
He said that was 15 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
15, 30, 45. Yes, Alfir will take 3 holy water himself.
And he said the potions were 20.
Yes.
20 gold? Or.
Yeah.
20 gold
20
apiece. Or no, the healing potions were 40, sorry.
Oh, 40? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, that's right.
Any of those potions you guys buy is less work for us to have to heal, so it might be a good investment, even if we don't run into the creepy crawly things.
Right. But it about taps me out, but I think I could afford one of them.
Let's see. Do I actually have coin on him? That would be... No. The Haldirei are pretty broke.
Ellie, if you would like to buy some potions.
Alright, you're fully able to.
Thank you. She'll buy like 2, and you said they were like 40 apiece?
40 apiece. So with the platinum you've got, you can cover it with 1, or at least the first potion anyway.
But I thank you kindly, sir. I'm glad our 2 different sides of the spectrum can get along so famously.
The hood just kind of quirks a bit to the side, but then just kind of nods.
But best wishes to your master, of course, and may we meet each other again on sunny days, or not.
Good luck with your endeavors. As the robed figure will kind of turn and move on to other duties, seeming to sprinkle some form of incense in the censers hanging from the pillars at the wall.
But Luther kind of freezes in his tracks for a second, grabs the leash and gives it a quick little, couple tugs. Wait, Carl, I didn't hear you say anything. Did you want a potion or something?
Nah, I'm good. I got my
Alright.
stuff.
Well then, Mr. Whiskerberry, did we get everything we needed?
Scribble, 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 scribble.
Leader Whiskerberry says, seems like we did. He's pretty prepared.
Good to hear.
So just out of character, you said 15 gold for the holy water? Is that like a, 85% discount?
It's pretty big. They're standardly 25.
Yes, they
I
are.
thought they were 100. Or is that an older...
No, that was Tanglefoot bags and old versions.
I thought it took 100 gold to make a holy water. Or 100 gold, silver? I forget.
It's
25.
Yeah, the holy water is normally 25 gold, and the attendant here was taking a donation of 15 gold per flask of it. Your potions that you pay, that I don't recall if you guys bought any of them, they were being sold by the alchemists at 50 gold. Here they were taking a donation of 40.
No, I don't think we bought any though.
No.
Oh yeah, that's rough. Oh, it'd be great if we had an alchemist in the party. Oh.
25 gold of 100 silver.
We've got a chef. Before leaving, Alfir goes and tracks down the attendant again and has a couple of quick words and is brought several empty vials that he trades coin for. And kind of tucks those away in his bag before coming back to you. So, we are ready then.
And about what time is it after all of this? Is it getting to be dark?
After all this, it looks like dark is starting to set in around the valley.
Is there any time for at least the alchemy group to hit up a general goods type store? Or would it be shutting down?
Well, it's easy enough that that Dominic can tell you that Atropos has a very lively nightlife. So there's definitely general stores that you can find. And why, Kess, are you pinging?
Kess fell in the water.
That's...
I don't know how he got there. We were all the way over here, but he fell in the water.
That's actually one of the incomplete parts of this map. What looks to be water there is actually an open expanse of nothing. The ends of Atropos are overlooking cliff face, so that is a drop.
Kess fell in the abyss.
He fell down it, yeah. Well, down below is actually for what... Before Dominic was able to travel, and Kess vaguely knows is the capital of the valley, or at least was prior to the convergence. The capital of the valley is named Targovista. And yeah, the city, basically Atropos is now overlooking that capital city. So yeah, that would be falling, you'd probably end up on somebody's roof. Or through somebody's roof.
Oh.
They can enjoy your meat and the meat you bought.
That's true.
Yeah, they can.
That's acrobatics that I'm not even going to want to deal with. But yes, you can find a general goods store. Fuck me.
Oh, God.
Well, there's your good roll for the night. Good job. Ass. Do a triple Lutz through the chimney into the cook pot. Good job. $10 stars even from the Russian judge. So what is it you're looking to buy from General Goods?
Kess was with us, right?
Yeah.
If you want
when he comes back up.
I'm looking for garlic.
I will buy some bread, some peppers, some onion.
Anybody gotta get like some silver darts or something?
Right?
There's-
I came here
Garlic.
thinking weapons.
Garlic for tonight's dinner, obviously. And some for myself as well.
We'll say there's. So you're looking more for like a grocer than like a.
I came here for weapons.
Well, then what's here?
Next door to the butcher, as you're kind of passing back through, there is a small grocer near to it. Garlics. Let's see here. Where is that located on my chart? Because I do have that. I know that much. All right. Come on. Garlic. You can get a small string of it for a copper.
I like 3.
Okay. So you got 5 strings of garlic. Of garlic clove.
If you didn't think that Dominic had an upturned nose before, stay away. You stink.
Well, to be fair, before it's cracked open, garlic doesn't have that strong of a smell.
It does, it's just not as strong, but to have 3 full strings of it,
5 full strings.
even better.
I don't know if he's hanging them around his neck. I think that's going in the pack for now.
Delay.
They're in my pack. I give one of them to Kess for the meal, and then whatever else he wants to buy.
Bulb of garlic to Kess.
Kess will go ahead and hunt for some peppers, some herbs, some bread.
Okay. So we'll say general little bit of spices. You can spend we'll say 15 silver and you can get yourself a little basic collection. Or as I pull every book off my shelf here.
Test goes for basic.
Yeah, it occurred to me.
Or if you act now.
If you act now. Where is this? Because I know I've got a portable spice rack in here somewhere.
I was gonna say he's got the page that just says Kess.
Page? It's a binder.
I might have to assemble the cookbook for all this shit.
Roll a percentile. This is what you end up making.
Yeah, okay. Oddly enough, it's in the section called Knickknacks of the Little Folk, because they're normally the ones who buy all this shit. All right. It's an old 3.5 book that works for this.
Yeah,
so
you cut out, that's all.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. If you spend yeah, because coin was worth a lot more back then. So if you spend 5 gold, you will have a full traveling and secured spice rack that is full.
Done.
If you're also in the mood, they will sell you a portable stove for 4 gold, which is essentially an iron sphere that kind of slides open in the middle and then kind of goes end over end, and it's like a portable grill. And they will also, and then for 3 silver, they will give you a number of coals and fuel for this that'll last you probably about 4 days. If you're interested.
We will call you George.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so you've got a portable stove and a secured spice rack.
Fabulous. stopped you.
God, I love you, Ultimate Equipment Guide. Brief aside, this is where I pulled Roro's fabulous Hearthdown bedroll out of.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, so from there, general store. So what is in a general store?
A general store will have your general adventuring gear, like clothes, rope, block and tackle, climbing equipment, water skins, journals.
So all the stuff we already have.
Tinder boxes, mess kits, bedrolls.
The finest of all bedroll.
Thank you. I was waiting for that.
You know, our old team. This is Kess speaking. Yeah, you know, our old team actually used to have a bearskin rug. The druid, for some reason, absolutely loved it.
Did you get the stains out of the fur?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
God, I miss them.
So you would have to find basically a blacksmith that specializes in weaponry if you're looking for armament.
It's more what I wanted.
Okay. You know your way around. You can find a person who sells weaponry. You find a forge off on a little bit of a side street that has a shop front built into it where they sell stock equipment.
And what's in the case?
What do you mean, what's in the case? They, all of your basic weapons you can find in here.
I'm interested in mainly silver. Silver daggers or bolts.
Silver tipped
arrows.
Arsenal. Let's see. I believe I've got that on this page here. Yes. Of course, for whatever reason, it doesn't quite say what silver is. So you're looking for bolts and daggers?
I don't actually know if anybody in the group has crossbow. I have a short bow, so it'd be more arrows. But
Okay.
arrows and daggers.
Arrows and daggers. All right. He seems to have 2 silvered daggers available for 4 gold apiece. And he does have some silver-tipped arrows. Let me see. What are the general price for the arrows? He has those for 2 gold for a pack of 20, and he's got 3 packs.
I will grab... Well, how many daggers does he have?
He's got 2, and those are 4 gold a pop.
Alright, so I'm just going to grab all of that.
All of that?
Yep.
All right. 8 gold for the daggers, and I said he had 4 packs of arrows, which were 2 gold a pop. So another 8 gold there.
We would know what everybody else has is like Nobody has crossbows.
Luther would definitely pay you the cost of a pack of arrows.
Yeah, I'm definitely splitting some of this with you guys.
And yeah, it's reasonable to know what generally people are working with. As far as a crossbow, I don't believe anybody has a crossbow, an actual bow. You do know that that Carl at least was half the time an archer.
Well, I already grabbed all the arrows, so.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure we didn't need to look for like bolts or.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody uses a crossbow here, that I'm personally aware of, without breaking into people's character sheets.
I can tell you, Sovi does not.
Alfir certainly doesn't.
Neither do I.
So I didn't see any rattling around. Good.
But that's the current stock of silvered weaponry that they have.
Do either of you want anything?
And we're at an actual like the blacksmith.
There is a smith in the back.
Could I inquire about like silver ore or anything? Just a chunk of.
A chunk of silver.
A chunk of silver or not necessarily the metal, but like the rock.
Just the rock that the silver was basically slagged off of.
Like raw silver ore, yeah.
Raw silver ore. Go ahead and roll percentiles. We'll let RNGesus decide this one here. That's not something that's generally they don't have raw. 2d10 basically.
Oh, not a d100.
Oh, either way. I mean, I'm just knowing for what I roll off the sidebar. 21? Yeah, he generally gets all the materials like in ingot form. He doesn't generally have anything like raw brought in. It's all processed.
Okay, it was worth a shot.
Yeah, it never hurts to ask. That would have been fun otherwise.
It would have been. Would have been really good. You know what I was planning, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There would have been enough stone melded in with that you could have affixed that to use as a semi-silvered weapon, or an effectively silvered weapon.
Oh well.
So, any other shopping you wish to do?
Is there just like a basic knife I can buy here?
Oh yeah, there are. I mean, do you want like a functional weapon dagger?
No, I just want something I can whittle with.
Oh, a whittling knife? Oh yeah,
Just any basic knife. Like I don't want to ruin a dagger.
Yeah, there's a carving knife. I believe there's even a whole carving kit available.
Are all of us at the blacksmith, or is it just
the three of you? What looks to be going on in the sidebar is the fast track of when you're all together. So yeah, wood carving tools, an entire kit of them, like chisels and basically anything you want to do with wood, with woodworking, is being sold for $1.
I just need like a basic boot knife or just a knife.
Just
something
a knife.
Something that would potentially be used for just sharpening this.
Okay, well, seeing as how a functional weaponry dagger is $2, I'm gonna say 5 silver, and you've got yourself a pretty sturdy knife that can be used for whittling.
pulling, cutting ropes. You never know. Good nurse.
Yeah, it's not balanced or anything good for, you know, actual combat, but for general cutting.
Okay. You said what? 5 silver?
5 silver. Yeah.
Done.
Anything else while you're here?
I think it's been like 5 hours past our meeting.
Yeah, I'm heading back to the wherever we were.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, no, you're probably waiting 10 minutes for them, but they do.
5?
Yeah, it wasn't taking 5 hours. I mean, maybe if Dominic wasn't guiding them around, but you're generally okay.
And I'm going to pass my healer's kit to Elia when we get.
All right. So with everyone everyone gathered, just Alfir will kind of address the group. Just, are we going to be traveling in the dark, or are we heading out in first light?
Well, I definitely don't want to be getting to the estate in the dark.
I don't know about y'all, but I can't see in the dark, so I would prefer
Yeah, no,
like...
we're heading out in the day.
But if we leave in the morning, won't we be getting there at night?
Possibly, but you'll have traveled the better part of the day to get there, so you might want to like rest in between.
Leave at first light, hold off a couple miles before we get there and make camp, perhaps.
Double thumbs up.
That sounds good to me.
Other order of business. Are we staying here in the fancy place, or?
This club does not have rooms available.
Club, not an inn.
Yeah, it's a tavern, or you know, it's essentially a bar / restaurant. It's an entertainment venue. It does not have lodging, but in this square, they do have several inns, essentially.
Dominic, are we going to be getting a good deal here, or is there anywhere better?
Is there anywhere better?
This area is upper scaled and would cost more, but you know of a couple of divey places. You know of a couple of decent spots as well.
I was gonna say, so how about one that's not too expensive that we're not going to absolutely end up murdered at?
Well, you're not going to absolutely end up murdered anywhere in this city. It's more of a dice roll on that. I mean, no, you're perfectly safe. Don't worry about it.
Nah, let's go to one of the decent ones.
I found a kidney under the bed. Oh yes, we've been looking for that.
Thanks. We had somebody asking about it.
Well, right. I'll meet you lot back here first thing in the morning. Try not to hurt yourselves. Dawn. Yes.
You'll find a mid-scale inn a little ways off of... Oh god, is it not going to let me choose the thing? Oh, I put it on the wrong layer. Okay. Kind of off, we'll say here a ways. And it's an inn called the Loom.
Fancy.
So, rooms there will be 5 silver a night. Alfir will pony up the last of his coin to get the two of you settled. Solvi?
I can cover people if we need.
Is that 5 silver per person?
Per person.
Wasn't sure if we were doing 9 rooms.
Well, you guys can do whatever you want, but Alfir is getting a room private for him and his wife.
Being
Breaking up
what?
a little bit there.
You can do whatever you feel you want to, but Alfir is getting a private room for him and his wife.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Totally fair. Don't worry about Luther. Luther is heading back to the temple. He excused himself. He's going to find lodging there, if possible.
You are able to essentially exchange a small service, basically leading a prayer for lodging for the night.
Outstanding. It's good
And
to
you are
be,
treated to fairly decent food and wine.
And I get to walk around in wolf's clothing, which awesome.
Does that mean Alethea is available room with?
It looks
Well, anyway, when we get here, I tell everyone that I'm happy to pay for their rooms for this night. It doesn't matter if you have your own room. I'm happy to pay for it. If you need me to.
I appreciate the offer. We're going to be fine. Thank you, though.
Yes, thank you.
Don't worry. I have 4 whole platinum I can use.
I'm gonna punch you and then sell your kidney. And
Hey,
I
that's
don't
where
have
that kidney
anything
came
nice to
from.
Get it.
Hey, wait. I need a new kidney. You're selling a kidney?
At
Yes.
this point, I
Too
toss the
real,
platinum.
Carl. Too real.
At this point, I toss the platinum to Dominic. It is platinum.
All right. So, deciding to... So we have the Helderai taken care of. We also have Luther taken care of. Who's rooming with whom now, otherwise?
Leader Whiskerberry and I are going to share a room.
The cats are going to go curl up in a pile of blankets together.
Yes.
If you hear vicious purring, why?
No.
Vicious
Yeah,
purring.
They're gonna run around at 4 o'clock in the morning chasing a bag.
They're gonna go down. They're gonna go down into the drinking hall and knock all the cups off the tables of all the people who are passed out. So that leaves. Okay, the two of you are taken care of. That means Kess and Carl are either sharing a room or getting one separate.
I'm getting one separate, and I'm buying drinks.
Okay.
Carl would like the smallest room available.
So you get your. It's just a big room for you, but it's pretty standard size for everything.
It's under a table.
It's a blanket fort under a table.
There was a bar
Carl
here as
wonders
well,
how the
that's-
hell you got 20 silver arrows and where.
That's what I was buying.
Carl did not know this.
That
Carl
is why
is-
I am offering.
So in character, you were not there at all, But you are being approached and offered 20 silver arrows.
Yes.
Carl will definitely use those 20 silver arrows.
Appropriately?
Yes. As long as he has prior knowledge of what to use it on.
Not on your butt scratching.
Kess learned that the hard way.
So long as he's not susceptible to silver, it should be just like any other silver.
Well,
Arrow.
it turns out Kess has a low form of lycanthropy, except he turns into a weird Greek man, which is
Oh,
also
God.
hairy, and very much so like a werewolf.
God, what is it? It's what is it like? The dance of the man whore is just playing in my head now. It's terrifying.
So there was a bar here, correct?
There's it's basically kind of there's a small scale like open dining hall that does have some drinks. It's not upper class, or it's basically, you know, a place to go and have a drink or two, maybe some food before, you know, going to bed or getting up in the morning. You monster, Torin.
What?
Hey, Kess, where'd that meet you about go?
There you go. Got it all right here. Gonna be cooking up a big meal in the morning.
Oh, in the morning.
Or when we
Okay,
make camp.
that'll work. Will it stay until we make camp? I mean, I've eaten older, but
They should be able to preserve it. More so that
I'm sure there's probably something that can be managed there.
yeah.
I was gonna say, with his chef's training, he could probably find a way to salt it or something to keep it for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have the ability to keep it cool. You're just gonna have to remember to pick it up in the morning.
Maybe I'll get some eggs and make some breakfast in the morning with some of the meat.
Torin will wake you up first.
at 3 a.m.
He's mute except for the yowling.
No,
And it
it's
just means feed me. Sitting there meowing on your chest. Meow. Meow.
I imagine him just like Garfield sitting there just pointing at an open mouth.
There you go.
and now it cannot be unseen.
Yep. Cursed forever now.
John, I need lasagna.
Oh God. No, not the creepy pasta Garfield. No.
John, I need shawarma.
Fuck. At least now we know how he got that way. Okay, so anything else that everyone is looking to accomplish before the next day?
I'm just gonna have a couple drinks before bed, whatever that entailed for cost.
Well, Sovi had invited Elia to come to the room with Elfair and so.
Torin ran away.
Elia eagerly follows Sovi.
Okay, then. I mean, in their room, Alfir immediately kind of goes to kind of preparing their bed, making sure that everything in his pack is attended to, and starts using the pitcher, pouring water into the small vials that he had purchased earlier, but is otherwise leaving the two of you to your business.
I just wanted to ask you up here because I was going to just say a prayer to Valdash and ask for us all to be protected in these coming trials.
Oh, really? I've never heard a prayer before.
Good news is I don't know any. Sylvie does, but I don't.
One blessing later.
Well transitioned.
But yes, Sylvie will pull out her prayer book and just pray for Alfair and Ellie to be protected by Valdash in the coming day.
What a weak god.
Not in the room.
Story time.
A little alarming, perhaps, Elia, that kind of the tail end of that prayer, though predominantly for success and protection, kind of ends with with a bit of, and should we fall, may we serve on his grand vessel.
Whew, it's a little warmer here.
So apparently the individuals that you're sharing a space with currently certainly hold in reverence a place should they die.
Elia's not thrilled with that ending.
Well, it's done on a hopeful. It's done on an uplifting note. Is death not being something to be feared, but if it comes. So, that being done, I imagine you go scurrying to the pet pile slightly thereafter, and everybody rests.
Torin's going to try to be the first awake. Kind of push everyone else to be awake.
He immediately goes to the room, passes out, in hopes to be the first one up.
And hopes. There's nothing we can do about this whole, alarm thing.
This is very true. Okay. So, we are at 3 o'clock, and doing the next part of this is definitely going to push us quite a bit over, but we imagine everyone is going to pick themselves up, assemble what goods they can, and we will pick up next time, not off the cliff. Whoever did that. No. No. Bad. You know what? You don't get it anymore. That's what happens. But we will pick up next time as you're exiting the city and heading out into the dark wood to this castle keep, the area in which your mission is to take place. Everyone will also have a small vial of slightly grayed liquid inside of it, handed out by Alfir. You will have you will each have a potion that will recover 2d4 plus 2 hit points. And he will inform you that this should be... You shouldn't feel the need to hoard this, as it will lose its potency soon, or by the end of the day.
So 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. Each of you has a temporary healing elixir.
You said we have a temporary healing elixir
Yes.
for 2d4?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
Is that the same thing as the gray liquid?
That is the gray liquid. That, no, for those of you who've purchased healing potions, the healing potions have a distinctly red hue to them. But these elixirs look like they're kind of water with little floating bits of grit in them.
Ew.
Tasty.
Tasty. So,
And with that, we will close out for the evening.
looks like one of Mima's world famous rock milkshakes.
Yeah. it's a little thinner than that, but
They don't use the right kind of gravel.
sure. Okay, well, good times, everyone. Ready to get out on the trail next. Very happy. So, we will see this group on its way in 2 weeks.
Another month.
Not another month, 2 weeks. It will be on the 28th. We'll be back for this next length.
The anticipation is killing us all.
And if you're bored, tune into the understudy.
Yes, I am balanced. I am
This
balancing
is great.
that.
Every 2 weeks we buy stuff.
If I'm bored, I'm gonna kick people in the shins.
Hey, no, well, look, I never said you had to go shopping.
You always have to go shopping.
Well, that's not up to me
I'm just
whether
saying,
you go
we
shopping.
did that 2 weeks ago as well.
Would, by the way,
You were settling into your new thing. You were exploring the town a little bit.
would Dominic know, by the way, anywhere that I could find some silver ore really quickly before we leave this town,
In the evening,
or the morning, whichever.
the two of you sharing a room. Dominic, go ahead and throw just a general intelligence check. Yes. It's probably going to cost you 10 gold for for a lump with sufficient silver content and silver and rock content for you to be using it for your.
Be enough, yeah.
So yeah, you can
You
score
said
that.
10 gold,
Yeah.
and that's somewhere within quick reach for me.
It's-
that
it's-
I'm not like making everybody wait 2 hours in the morning or something.
You can get it done in the evening. You have enough
I'll do
time
that.
over the course of the evening that you can get that. You could have gotten that done.
Okay, sweet.
All right. Well, until next time then.